been looking at some of the rankings of teams you've played in this season. How has this schedule prepared you for what you face down the stretch here, what you're going to be playing this weekend into the playoffs as far as you can go?
Yeah, I thought of that actually as Capo said, number 10. It seems like the last 3 weekends every team's been 9 or 10. So, coming into the season and knowing our schedule and our opponents, I think coming in, 33 of 34 were top 20 teams coming in. Is that right? One team.
Something like that.
I think
We've played
Merrimack.
25 so far, ranked games, out of 32 so far.
Okay, so there's your one of the teams was not ranked, and that was that Merrimack game, I believe, was the only team that wasn't ranked coming in. So we knew our schedule. We planned that schedule that way to have tough opponents. We don't have a whole lot of. We only have 10 non-conference games. We want to get the big boys into our building. We want to go to the other places that are top teams. So going in that there's not any weekends where you're going to have a chance to pile up points or to guarantee yourself wins. So it's a competitive schedule. It's good for our young players to have gone through that. This weekend was a perfect example of what playoffs are going to be because they came in here needing a win to solidify a tournament spot. So it wasn't like, they were on cruise control. That was as important of a game to them as anyone this season, and we were able to beat them twice. Ohio State now is playing for a Big Ten title this weekend. It's the same type of mentality we have to have going in, that our job is to play the right way. We're going to have to knock teams out in the playoffs. We were able to maybe knock Arizona State out, or at least dim their chances of making the tournament. Now we got to try to knock Ohio State out from winning a Big Ten title and potentially making the tournament as well.
Offensively, scoring 13 goals, that's pretty special. Did you see your team making additional passes, reading plays differently, or what did you see offensively that allowed you to be as productive as you were?
Yeah, scoring 13 goals. I think coming into the year, everyone thought we were going to be this offensive machine. I think we have a ton of skill and talent. I think the younger players have adjusted really well to college hockey, and I think it's kind of caught up with the production of what we're able to do as a team. But I think we were more aggressive at shooting pucks. I think Roman's a perfect example of that. He ripped that one on Saturday night. I think that there's been lots of games and situations where our team has passed up those shots to try to find better plays. I thought we were more determined to get the puck to the net better. I think the power play, on the other hand, when we had those major power plays there, I think we were a little cautious and looking for a perfect play. I think we needed to get back to that mentality. But 13 goals in a weekend against, like I said, a team that was as desperate as them. Their goalie had a 9.25 coming in, so it was a great goalie. We knew we had to find a way to get to him. We were able to do that.
Tony, confidence is always a huge thing in any sport. Getting hot right now at the end of the season, can that make all the difference with your squad right now?
Well, I feel really good about the way our guys feel about themselves. I said it, the last few weeks, even though we haven't won, especially the Michigan weekend, we went out there and lost 2, and I thought we were really, really close to putting it all together. And then the Penn State weekend, we split, but, we're pretty close to, finishing them off in a sweep. And then this weekend, I think you can see some confidence gaining in our group. You can see the line combinations and the balance of our lines have been as strong as they've been all year. And I also think we're playing really well defensively. And I know, we gave up 6 on Friday. It doesn't look like that, but I think our team mentality on how to be solid defensively is much more disciplined than it was earlier in the year, much more mature. And I think that will be a factor as we head into the playoffs as well.
When you talk about being more determined to get the puck to the net, that seems like an important thing against Ohio State because they will limit that as good as anyone else. How important is it to carry that from what you did Saturday and Friday to forward to do that
and
again?
We said it between periods the other day. If you guys like to score and you want to put some numbers on the board and pad your stats, start shooting the puck more. And so I think that they like that. I think they like getting 13. So I think let's face it. Turk's been banged up quite a bit. He gets back in our lineup down the middle. He's productive Friday and Saturday night. That helps down the middle. Your power play, gets a couple for you. Max Zimmer's on a roll. He's scoring. Dylan Holloway started to score. Roman Ashan continues to score. Cole's going to continue to score. Ty Pelton-Bice, you look at the plays he's made, he's scoring. We get lots of offensive weapons that can produce. And, to gain confidence at this point of the year, to get 13, everybody feels a little better about it, when you get on the score sheet going into your next game. And Ohio State is a stingy defensive team. They got a great goaltender. They're great defensively. But, I think we're finally reaching our identity on who we can be and how we need to play. So it's going to be a challenge. Like I said, they're playing for a Big Ten title, and we're playing for our lives to get ready for playoffs and to be in a position where we feel we can make something out of this year. And I feel good about where we're at. And see where we're at on Friday night when we drop the puck.
Cole's in the race for the Big Ten scoring title. That's something that hasn't happened here a lot over the years, as we've found out. I think that's something that probably was expected for him to at least be in that situation going into the last weekend. Do you think his production has been kind of steady enough throughout the season, or would you kind of like to have had him not had the dips maybe that he's had a couple weeks?
Well, when you're a goal scorer, there's times when things are a little bit easier than other times. You get on runs and streaks. He's a freshman. He's 18 years old. He's put up some tremendous numbers. And, to potentially lead the Big Ten as a freshman is quite an accomplishment. So he's had a tremendous year. So I'm not going into this weekend, trying to get him enough points to win the scoring title. He'll get his opportunities like he always has, and I want him to play, within the team structure to help us do whatever we can to try to win these two games. So, but he's had a phenomenal year. I think Turcotte's had a phenomenal year. Lindmark's had a phenomenal year. Holloway's had a phenomenal year. Offensively, I don't know where they all rank in the Big Ten for freshmen, but I'm sure they're all in a pretty good position. So our younger kids have produced.
Did you notice anything different about Daniel on Saturday as opposed to Friday? With Johan starting first and maybe taking a breath before he gets in? I don't know.
He was good on Saturday. Friday's game was one of those crazy games where we went back and forth. They scored on their first shot, and both teams have offensive weapons. The Walker kid obviously is an elite goal scorer, and he was able to get a couple. So, I think it was one of those games that was maybe a little bit harder for him on Friday. Saturday, we didn't give up a lot of chances. I mean, we really didn't. We played solid defensively. He made a breakaway save in the second, which was real big. I don't know what the score was. I think it was 4-0 at the time. But anytime your team gets a 5-0 lead too, it's a lot easier on a goaltender. So if we can do that every weekend, I'm sure he would like that.
What is your goal defensively as far as how many scoring chances you want to give up? Everybody's going to get some.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're playing against elite teams, so you're going to give up chances. I think the biggest thing is to eliminate chances off of turnovers because you can control that, and also eliminate chances off of odd man rushes. And on Friday night, we were a little sloppy. We got caught into the track meet type of game. They opened it up. We liked it opened up because I think we have more depth scoring wise. And that we were able to finally get, basically get the last shot to win the game. But I think the area of being responsible with the puck, especially towards the offensive zone, that's an area that we become better at, and responsible as far as having a third man in the offensive zone to be able to help our D on the rushes against is another area. And Saturday night we were almost perfect on it. Friday night we were a little sloppy on it. So those are difference makers in games. If we can be good in those two areas and Daniel can make the saves when he needs to, then we'll be good defensively.